Hallo en welkom bij de Money Mind podcast. Ik ben Adine, oprichter van de Money Mind Academy en lekkerlevenmetminder.nl. Wat mij betreft begint een financieel gezond leven in je hoofd, niet in je portemonnee. Daarom geef ik je in deze podcast slimme en praktische tips voor een rijker leven. We hebben het over sparen, beleggen, investeren, maar vooral mindset. Wil jij hier meer over weten? Luister dan vooral verder, abonneer je op de podcast en laat een review achter. Hoi en leuk dat je weer luistert naar deze nieuwe aflevering van de Money Mind podcast. En het is best wel een hele bijzondere aflevering vandaag, want ik doe namelijk een interview in het Engels trouwens met Jackie Trust Windham. En misschien ken je haar wel, zij staat op Instagram en op TikTok is zij behoorlijk bekend. Heeft ze volgens mij 60 of 70.000 volgers, in ieder geval op Instagram. TikTok heb ik niet gecheckt. En ze werkt heel veel met beroemdheden en zij is, ja, ik denk wel de autoriteit als het gaat om lichaamswerk. En dan gebruikt zij een techniek waarmee ze trauma uit je lichaam haalt. En het bijzondere daarvan is dat ze heel veel klachten, of dat nu gewoon een fysieke klacht is of een wat meer mentale klacht, dan die verhelpt ze binnen 1 behandeling. En dan moet ik wel bij zeggen, dat is dan niet een uurtje op de bank in en weer uit. Zij doet echt wat nodig is tijdens zo'n behandeling om tot het gewenste resultaat te komen. En daar is ze echt fenomenaal in. Ze verandert haar levens in. En ik ben daarom ook super trots dat ze in deze podcast is. Maar ik vind het ook heel leuk, want zij zit dus in Los Angeles. En misschien denk je dan, ja, wat heb ik daaraan? Want ik ga er voorlopig niet heen. Maar een klant van mij en ook een vriendin van mij, Danielle, die heeft haar ontmoet in Amerika en die heeft ervoor gezorgd dat zij naar Nederland komt. Dus in augustus komt Jackie naar Nederland. Heeft ze ook ruimte voor een aantal behandelingen. Ze geeft dan ook een lezing. Dus ik hoop zo erg dat je dit op tijd hoort. En als je voelt, hier moet ik bij zijn, kijk dan in de show notes. Daar staat alle informatie. Kun je aanmelden, kun je kijken of er nog plek is. Dus zeker even doen als je je geroepen voelt. Daarnaast, ik moet eerlijk zeggen, ik weet niet precies hoe dit werkt, maar ik wilde het wel even van tevoren aankondigen. Jackie die heeft zelf ook heel veel meegemaakt, waardoor ze ook zo goed is in wat ze doet. Dus ik zie wel eens op plekken een soort trigger warning staan of zo. Ik weet niet of dat hier op zijn plaats is, maar als jij ook heftige dingen hebt meegemaakt en je weet dat als iemand anders daarover praat, dat dat bij jou iets kan raken, dan kun je er natuurlijk ook voor kiezen om dit nu uit te zetten. Want zij vertelt ook wat over haar eigen leven. Dus ik hoop dat ik het op deze manier goed doe. En ik hoop vooral dat je, als je de ruimte voelt, doorluistert en dat je hier heel veel aan gaat hebben. Alvast bedankt en veel luisterplezier. I'm very honored to have you here at my podcast, and I know that many Dutch people might not know you yet, but you have quite a huge following in the US and work with a lot of celebrities there, I understood.
Yes.
So could you tell the Dutch people a bit about yourself? Who is Jackie? Who is the Muscle Whisperer? Nice question. It's terrible, I know.
Yeah, it depends on which day you're asking or minute. Jackie the Muscle Whisperer. Well, this came about 12 years ago. And it's kind of like a hard question because I think I'm still trying to find out who the Muscle Whisperer is completely. Being on
who we are.
Being on this healing journey of myself and with others. But I am a 58-year-old single mom. I've been a single mom for 15 and a half years. He's 20. And I fix people's pain. I don't even know how to really answer that.
Well, let's get into that, because if you say I fix people's pain, when you have something here, then you probably get sent to a doctor, and then he says you go there, and then you're 3 years later still having the same pain, and nothing really changed except you're maybe broke and you don't have any time left. But that's not the way to work. Yeah.
No, it's really started when I was working for a chiropractor here. And I took a job part-time as his assistant. And I had been a bodybuilder for 20 years. So I had like always been studying muscle, working on my muscles. I trained with a very famous professional bodybuilder named Albert Beckles. And it was really like 6 hours a day of science class, being with him and learning and, just training 2 hours or training. We're there together and just avoiding injuries and things like that. But when I started working in the chiropractor's office, I noticed that like there's a routine. The patient comes in, he goes on this like table with me. I put on the little pads. Then I use the little wand, and then 10 minutes of the finger massage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then go into the office, and then I'll see them again in 2 days, and then I'll see them again. It was like this rotation. It was like all the time, and nobody's getting better. And so when the doctor, I hate to call them that, but when the chiropractor, he started selling massages on the like after hours.
Yeah.
So he asked
He had
if
a
I would
side
do that.
hustle.
Side hustle.
Yeah.
Groupon. Do you guys have Groupon?
Yeah, we do. We have
Okay.
Groupon, we
He
have
was
social
selling
deal.
Groupon.
We have Dutch. We are Dutch. We have a lot of deals.
Hey, listen, I'm here. I'm American, please. But Groupon, so he was selling these Groupon massages for like $15 or $25, and I would get 15 for an hour. It was ridiculous. But what I did was I started really using my knowledge of muscles, and I had been to massage school in the 90s and just everything I remembered. And I started learning, like, how can I get these people better? Because this is frustrating. I'm seeing the same people and they're never better. And so on those massages, I would do my thing. And so people would get better. And he cornered me one day in the hallway and he said, "Can I ask you why you're fixing my patient so quickly?" I was like, "Excuse me?" And he said, "I have a family, Jackie. This is a business. You're affecting my bottom line business." Well, I said, "F you," I quit. And so from then, it was like when I started, it was like $25 a session.
Yeah.
And so, it was like grinding. It was like practicing and trying to learn intuitively to use what my knowledge of soft tissue and muscle and all of that. And I had a client one day, and she was an actress. And she was like, "Nobody has ever made me feel better. You're the muscle whisperer." I was like, "Oh, that's it." And so I became the muscle whisperer. And it's been years and years and years of working and using my tools and perfecting everything and figuring it out and working on thousands of bodies to, what is what. And it started working, and people were getting better, and people were coming in with back pain and leaving after one session with no back pain, and couldn't move the shoulder or the neck. And then as time went on, me being a trauma survivor, I'm proud to have the title of complex trauma survivor. We are a special crew, okay? That means that we've had lots of different types of trauma, right? So I don't think it's fair that we're called complex, because it's not our fault, but that's what it is.
Complex could also be, I would just interpret it as, well, not in the context, but complex could also be very expansive, very...
Not in the case when you're talking about trauma.
No, not in that case, no.
No. It's not a good thing.
No.
To be a complex trauma survivor. But what it's done is allowed me to go on a different level with my clients. So everything, it just started happening. I started to get this reputation slowly. It's been 12 years in the process. I think I saw my first celebrity maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. Angela Bassett was one of my first ones.
Oh, I know her.
Yeah.
Is she also from ER? I'm not sure.
No, the show ER?
Yeah.
No, she 911 is she's on now. There's a show. She wasn't on ER. She played Tina Turner in the movie What's Love Got to Do with It? She's very famous.
She has
here.
been on ER for 1 season or 2 seasons.
Oh, she was?
Yeah, she was.
Really?
Yeah.
On ER?
Yeah, 2008 to 2009.
Oh. I didn't see her then. I didn't know her, but she came in when she was filming, and I'll never, like, earlier, like maybe 6 months ago, I had seen another celebrity, and he was sharing with me that she told him, "Oh, the muscle whisperer is really good, but that is painful." So there's always pain and healing.
Yeah, because you started out then more with the physical aspect, like if you have back pain, you fix your back pain. And then as time went on and you went on your healing journey, you touched upon a deeper level, but usually, well, we talked about this before, and maybe you could elaborate a bit on it, that we are used to avoiding pain. Well, in case with your treatment, it's quite painful. I've seen people with quite a lot of bruises, but still,
you had to bring that up.
Yeah, but it's one-time pain. Well, if you're traumatized, and trauma can take the form of, it can be like, I'm using the air quotes for the people who are listening, small or big. It can be in different sizes, but trauma is still pain every day, because
absolutely
you can get triggered every moment. So it's kind of weird that we're trying to avoid the pain we are already having, and which can get up every moment.
But you want to know what I figured out?
Tell me.
It's not that they're afraid of the physical pain. They're afraid of facing their emotional pain, the pain of the trauma of their experience. And I just, because I think about it a lot. And it's funny, I was working on somebody tonight. And when she came in, I go, "Okay, so what are we doing? Upper body or lower body?" And she goes, "My whole left side." I said, "Oh." She goes, "I have mommy issues. It's my whole left side." And I said, "Really? Okay." So whenever somebody tells me what side to work on, I go the opposite side because I know better, right?
Yeah.
So because we subconsciously want to avoid those painful memories, I want to embrace the pain so that we can heal them, because until you feel them, you can't heal them.
Yeah.
So I told her, I said, "We're going to start on the right." And I asked her, I said, "Is there any sexual trauma? Because that'll be in the lower body." And she said, "Well, not done to me, but I was forced to do things to him, a family member." And I said, "That is sexual trauma." Right? But in order to cope, we come up with lots of things.
Yeah, you come up with a story. It's not me. Yeah.
Or, I did it. It wasn't done to me. It's not the same thing. And so what was so interesting is that I started on her inner and her groin muscle and the inner leg, which is the groin muscle on her right. And it took us almost 2 hours to get through that leg.
Wow.
Just that leg. But when she's like, and the crying and, you know, all of it. And I'm holding her and I'm hugging her and she's grabbing me. And it's beautiful because I can feel it come out of them. I can feel that ick just coming out of their body. So when we finished, she's walking around, oh my gosh, all that. But then when I went to the left side where she thought it was, not a peep, nothing. She didn't even, I'm scraping her and she's like this. And I'm like, nothing. She's like, nope. And I'm like, she goes, I don't understand. I had all that pain on my left. And I'm like, well, let me try over here.
No.
I'm like, nothing. She's like, nope. And I'm like, so that she's just like, so for a client on the table, the connection comes.
Yeah.
The connection comes. And it's like, oh my gosh. So the reason that my work is so successful is because I have such a deep level of understanding of being a complex trauma survivor.
Yeah.
So I understand so many different traumas because I've been through so many. And so it becomes like you might come in as a moth and you leave as a butterfly.
Yeah,
you know?
it's really you're I think you're very talented. You
Thank
also
you.
have the complex trauma survivor
Gift.
experience, gift.
Gift.
And then you also just know a lot about the body, about the muscles, about how it works. So it's you're very, very skilled. And you have put in the work, you have put in the hours, you have
Yes.
many people on your table. So if someone comes in and they don't know, they're just coming in and they don't exactly know how to pinpoint, like the client you just told about, well, it's my left side, or it's this or that.
Yeah.
How do you start? How do you know what to do?
Honey, God has given me this gift. I don't know if it's a gift or a curse. Like some days my son is like, I don't like this gift you have, like it's people screaming for hours and hours. And I just know it's intuitive. It's intuitive. It's almost like I've done so much work in healing on understanding my trauma and the connections of things that I experienced, which was, is it okay to say?
Yeah, if you want.
I'm very open
Yeah.
about what I've been through, and I'm open about it because it's not my shame.
No.
I didn't do it to me. It's not my shame. And that's new, right? For me. And like the lady tonight, it was her shame that was keeping her from wanting to go there. So being someone that has experienced child rape by a family member at 6, and then molestation and sex abuse with another family member, and these are men, and then good old daddy and his abuse and his thoughts of me as his mistress, and even calling me that, and even asking to sleep with me in a hotel when I was 38 years old. Having all of that, like people don't even have to come in and say anything to me.
No.
Now, when Danielle came in, there were no words that needed to be said. I don't ask anybody their story. I don't want to know it because I can feel it. It's like they say, like an alcoholic is
Mhm.
can help another alcoholic because it's just a level of understanding that somebody who doesn't struggle with that. And I feel like it's the same way with us trauma survivors. Like, if we could all be on our own island, well, we would be the world because it's everywhere.
Yeah.
But we just get each other. There can be this safety among us kind of thing.
Yeah, it's very powerful.
I mean, the two that left today that I worked on both left and said, "You're changing lives, Jackie.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Like, you're changing. Like, I feel different." And it doesn't stick to me. People may say, well, I wonder if it sticks to her if she takes it in. Nope. I have a lot of protection. I have a lot of angels around me. I have a lot of protection, and this is God's work. And I don't think I could ever get away from it. It's like whenever I'm out, someone's like, oh, in line for a drink, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, does your neck hurt? Yeah. I was like, I can
Can
help you
I?
with that. I told Danielle on my flight over there, I'm taking some sleeping pills because if I don't, I'm going to end up working on the whole crew in the entire plane during my flight because everybody is.
Everybody
just,
has pain.
yes, but we all don't make the connection of where it comes from.
No.
So when we don't deal with that trauma and we have grown up and live in a fear, fight, or flight, our body just produces mass amounts of cortisol. Too much cortisol is linked to so many diseases: fibromyalgia, high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, cancer. You'll notice people that I've known personally that have had cancer and passed away are people that held everything inside.
Yeah.
It becomes your own personal cancer, you know?
Yeah.
So we got to feel it to heal it.
Yeah. And it's almost like it's become regular that you have pain or that your body isn't working the right way. So it's like, and if you're already seeing something, then it's the physical pain, but not making the connection with the deeper layers means that you're not going to solve it if you're not finding the right support in it. And that's something great because you are coming to the Netherlands,
I'm
which
coming to the okay.
yeah.
First of all, let me just okay. Can I do this on here?
Yeah, we don't have video, so the people won't know
Okay.
what you showed us.
I'm showing you my drink of
Yeah.
matcha tea. I'm showing you my matcha tea. I didn't know because it's in a brand name cup. I didn't know if I could drink it while we were on. So, yeah, you don't never know what you're gonna get with Jackie, but what you will get is authenticity. So, Jackie coming to the Netherlands. First of all, I have not left my son since he was born 20 and a half years ago. So, for me to come across the world to the Netherlands to share my gift and to be able to bring a different level of healing is huge and exciting. But to get me out of my house, let alone on an airplane, because it's been 11 years since I've been on one of those things, and leave my dogs and my kid is huge. And I'm not coming back to America.
Until you experience the first fall here, the first autumn.
Listen, I can go, just to be able to be alone and naked in my own space. It's been 20 years since I could do that. But this is an opportunity that, and thank you to Danielle, because how this whole thing happened was, here's my scar.
Yeah, it's nothing
Can you
short of
see
a
it?
miracle, I think. Yeah.
Can you
Yeah,
see
I
it?
can see it. It's huge. Yeah.
And that happened when she was on my table.
Yeah.
And so, I kept saying, like, I just need somebody to bring me somewhere. I'll go. But, I'm one of those healers that I fix you in one session usually.
Yeah.
And if we can't finish the session, I'll have you come back for free and finish it for free. Like, who does that? And I back up my work, right? And so it's really important for me to get somebody fixed and assist them in their healing their body. And I don't like long-term relationships, so it works out. So we can
that's perfect, because in worst case scenario, it's upper body, lower body, and then you're gone.
Then that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people, for Danielle, she got to do one part of one leg before I accidentally slipped my arm.
People listening don't know it, but Danielle was on your table, and then halfway through the treatment, your arm got stuck behind a door, something like that. So you were taken away by an ambulance. Yeah,
yes,
well, Jackie said call 911, and I was like, is she joking? Or and
yeah.
It's all the blood.
So the screen door popped and it ripped my arm open.
Mm.
And I did this, and I was like, honey, could you call 911 for me? I was like very calm, and I didn't pass out because, okay, truth is, I have so much fat in my arm that it wasn't bleeding like really bad. And like, yay that I have that much fat in my arm, because had I not, it would have cut through my artery.
Yeah, because it's the scar is really big.
The scar is huge.
Yeah.
And it's ugly, but it'll get a tattoo over it. But and I was like, Danielle, I didn't have to slice my arm open to get you to really notice me and bring me to the Netherlands. It was quite an event. They stitched me up and she came back the next day, and I did a little bit. I had worked on her left side. So left side is female issues, right side is male. And we didn't get very far on the right side. So, but what's interesting is usually the upper body is family relationship stuff.
Yeah.
And the lower body is violation to the body, domestic violence, sexual assault. And there are things that people don't always remember. I had a client once, and she said, she came with her boyfriend, and she said, Jackie, I know something happened to me at a party. I can't remember. And I just feel stuck. Like something happened that I can't remember and I can't process. And I remember telling her, you might have a flashback on the table. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I'm okay with that. Like, I want to know what happened to me. And so while she was on the table, she was having a flashback of being sexually assaulted from that party. Somebody had put something in a drink, and her boyfriend was there, and he was holding her down, kind of like, because she was flailing. Mm-hmm. And I had to get it out. I have this little, and so when somebody's having a flashback, thank God I've had so many of them, I know how to handle them. And today the girl had 3 on the table, my client this morning. So she had this, and all this was, it was like it was violently happening to her in the moment. And we got through it. And when she got up, I'll never forget, I have the video of it. She was dancing and her boyfriend, like, we were all dancing because it was like, I'm free. I got that shit out of my body.
Yeah.
Because we keep it in and it makes us sick and it makes us angry. And when we don't release it, it comes out of us in ways, which is why the UPS won't deliver to me. It comes out in ways that aren't really always good for us, you know?
Oh yeah, it gets stuck in our body. That's an interesting one, because I think many people don't know it, that it stores inside of you. And
Absolutely.
as you say, it comes out when you're triggered, and you might not know you're triggered. And it's kind of a weird dynamic that you won't solve until you get to those deeper layers, and you have to feel it. You have to get it out.
You cannot heal what you cannot feel.
Oh, and it can be so
Never
hard
know that something,
to go to the feeling.
what's wrong if you, well, what is hard? Let me tell you, what your bodies have gone through in that trauma is hard.
Yeah.
Your brain stores it away. I didn't have my first memory till I was, like I said, 28 of what happened to me. And that was a start. I still don't know all of the things that happened to me. I just had a memory of something my dad did that went way further than what I thought he had done. Right. So it's a protective mechanism. And then also, sorry about the dogs. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, everybody. Like,
I hardly heard them, so I'm probably
Okay.
listeners won't hear them as well. And otherwise,
Okay.
my podcast might have stranger sounds sometimes.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, they should listen in on a session. You're not here at all. But what's important is I've also come up with this mantra, out of my body. And people say it with a rhythm. And even my son does it when I work on him. And he's not releasing trauma, at least not with me. He won't. But, you know, as you say it, it's just like, it's a message because we're one unit.
Yeah.
So as we're saying, out of my body, it's like the person can feel it going.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. And if we keep trying to stuff, if I was about to cry and I stop myself and I stuff it, those are hormones that are just stuffing in.
Yeah.
And it's scientifically proven that trauma stores in the muscle tissue and the fascia tissue. And there's an amazing book called The Body Keeps the Score.
Oh yeah.
It's very
It's also
difficult
translated into Dutch, I think.
Yeah. Is it
Wessel van der Kolk? I think the writer might even have Dutch roots.
Wow. Well, it's a therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I couldn't really get through it, but
it's very big.
You know,
me neither.
It's very triggering.
Hmm.
You know, it's triggering because it's a lot of stories.
Yeah.
And it's funny. This is another thing that's interesting. People who will make excuses not to get on my table.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice one because, well, many people will be listening and they might think, well, it's not for me. I'm not that traumatized, or it sounds a bit painful, or, well, maybe I don't have the time.
But if you don't take the time to heal your body won't give you the time to heal. So we get sick. People get sick. And, you know, it's not only that I do trauma. Now let's talk about, I work on professional athletes, NBA players, NFL players, Major League Baseball. I've worked on soccer, professional soccer, football, hockey. You know, I have people that come in that aren't working on themselves at all, as far as, it starts with someone says, well, how do you know you have trauma? Or why do you think everyone has trauma? Whatever. You have to sit with yourself and want to ask the questions of, who am I? Why do I react this way? Why did I date people like this? Why does this make me cry? Why does this make me angry? And not I didn't start doing that. So that's okay. Not everybody, you don't have to come to the Muscle Whisperer because you have big trauma. You want to come to the Muscle Whisperer if you haven't been able to raise your arm for years and months, or you can't lay on your side because your back hurts so much, or your ankle is swollen, or you're an athlete and you can't lift your arm because they say you have frozen shoulder, or, so I don't just do trauma. Do I believe everybody has some? I do.
Yeah.
But we don't always, it's not for me to push anybody to go anywhere that they're not ready for. I've had people come and for 2 hours, listen, I'm scraping. This is scary. This guy is a therapist.
Yeah.
A psychotherapist. Okay. He had zero emotion. Just quiet through the whole thing.
Wow.
And as I was working on him, I was like, oh my God, this guy is so detached from who he is and his body that he is a walking zombie. Like, I could never imagine going to somebody as a therapist like that. He had zero emotion. And I kept checking, are you alive? Because usually I'm hearing something out of somebody like, ow, or, oh, that's good. But it was silence for 2 hours. I put on a movie because I was so bored. It was like, he just was like, and I was just like, wow, this dude is so disconnected that I felt sad for him.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's really important and what people do is that I work with too is preparing for pregnancy, preparing to get married, preparing to be a parent.
That's interesting.
Cleaning all of this, whatever you hold in your body, getting it out before two people conceive a child is one way how we stop the cycle and the generational trauma. Oh, well, my dad went through this, so that's why it happened. But that's not okay.
No.
So I work with a lot of women who are preparing to be mothers and don't want to carry that, right? And I recommend to any couple before they get married, come get your body scraped out by me. Clear whatever you have out so you guys are both going in. At least, you're cleaning your body out for whatever is in there, even if you don't know.
And going in as yourself instead of yourself with a lot of stuff in your body. Baggage,
And it doesn't always mean childhood trauma. The girl today was tortured by her boyfriend for a long time. So it can be somebody coming out of jail who has had experiences. It could be, I work with people who've lost a parent and they just can't let go and heal. And we get that out. And there's all these things. So it's not one way.
Oh.
When somebody comes to see me, as long as you come open and as long as you recognize that there's something in your body that is causing pain or making you feel stuck. And I'm worth every penny and more because I'm unique.
Yeah.
Very unique. Yeah. I mean, I have a big, I didn't realize my son one day when Danielle came in and she said, I'm like, first of all, I have another client from the Netherlands that was supposed to be coming this summer. So when I was like, oh, you made it, she's like, she's looking at me like, what are you talking about? And she goes, I said, you're my client that follows me and told me you'd be here. She goes, I don't follow you. And I'm like, what? How did you find me? Because I want people to see what I do. And she goes, my Tesla. And I'm like, what do you mean your Tesla? She said, well, we Googled the Airbnb and up popped the Muscle Whisperer. And I'm like, what? And I said to my husband, I'm going there. I don't know what it is or who it is or what's going to happen to me, but I'm going. And he goes, okay, book an appointment if you can get in. And that's how it happened. And so after that, my son Googled me and he goes, Mom, you're like a major Google search. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he goes, you're pages and pages and pages of you on Google. Huh? What? Like, I'm a whole Safari search. I was like,
Yeah, I know.
Listen,
I Googled you.
I had no idea that you could, I'm the girl whose family did everything they could to make sure I would be nothing. Everything to make sure that I would be nothing and I would never have a voice to speak out about what I went through. I have a famous dad, and well, I don't know what to call him. We haven't spoken in 11 years. But when the Me Too movement started, he started sending some money. But it's, it's all...
You have a voice now. You've created a voice for you.
I've created a voice.
Yeah.
For the voiceless also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're also giving them back a voice by your treatments. And I think the way you described how Danielle came upon you, I think it will be the same for listeners. You will feel called to get on your table.
Yeah.
And you will feel the nudge and you will feel that it's something you have to do. So whether it's, you have trauma or you have like physical ailments that won't go away.
Yeah.
I think if you're listening to this and you will get the pull, and I'll put everything in the show notes about where to book a treatment, when it will be.
Yes,
thank you. Here in August, I think. Yeah.
I arrive. I leave August 12th. So
Okay.
I think I'm there the 13th through the 24th. And my session is 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
And it's not just 2 to 3 hours of work. So it's not like screaming pain. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. You cry. I mean, I hug people, I hold people, I rock people. Sometimes we break and we eat. Sometimes it's all about, for me, I live in the moment. And I really try to practice that. I have the only expectation of myself is to give my whole self to the person on my table. And I hate the fact that I even have to charge money for it. Someday I'm going to be super rich and I'm going to travel the world and I'm not going to charge people. And I'm just going to do it because I hate the fact that there has to be a business end of it. I hate that part.
I can understand that, but at the same time, you're putting in so much energy, and if getting money for it now will help you help more people and spread the word and will help you get super rich, then it will also allow you to. And I know I've followed you since Danielle told me about you, and I know you also do a lot of free work. You're helping a lot of people already. So we all have to eat, and it's I think it's necessary in this phase to get out the word, and I think you're doing amazing work. So
thank you. But there's one other part to it.
Yeah.
We have to invest.
Absolutely.
To make it matter. We have to invest in ourselves to make it matter to us. That's just how it is. And we can get our hair colored and we can I don't do any Botox, but you can get your Botox, you can get your boobs done, you can get your tushy, you can get your this and your that. But the beauty of your spirit is inside.
Mm-hmm.
And you can mask it up. But until you get to who you are, it's just kind of like
Yeah.
curtain. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
well, we have a saying in Dutch. Je kunt ergens een pleister op plakken. It's like you can use a band-aid on everything
Yeah.
you're feeling, but it's not healing. And if you heal it, then it might be, well, it might be a huge step to get to your table. It might be a big investment on a financial level, but still, how much will it cost you if you don't do it? How much time? How much joy in your life? How much money in treatment? So it's also
And
a matter of,
sickness.
yeah.
And so for me, most people only see me one time. That's it. One and done. That's all you need. And I just want to be one part of your journey. For everyone who's listening, first of all, I'm so grateful. I'm so excited to come to your country. I'm going to fall in love in the Netherlands. I don't know how, but I am. There's someone out there. I'm gonna... Careful, because I haven't been out, like, I've been cooped up for 20 years being a mom. But I'm so grateful to your country and everybody listening. I'm so grateful for you for having me on this podcast. I pray that that whoever this touches, and if you look at my work and it touches you, that you'll recognize the value in yourself, and that you are worthy to heal on every level,
Yeah, I think that's
out of my body.
Yeah, out of my body. Well, I think that's a beautiful way to end this podcast. I will put all the info, also, of course, your Instagram handle, everything in the show notes.
And my TikTok.
And your TikTok. I'll check that out
Yep.
too. I'll put it up.
TikTok. So on the TikTok, though, make sure that you have the right one. There's some fake people out there. Danielle can give you everything. Yeah, they're making fake accounts like left and right. From your country, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it's terrible. I think currently if I'm scrolling through my feed, I see a lot of people who are saying, well, there's another fake account on my name. There's another fake account. Well, it's
and
not
I keep
get
reporting
out of my
to
body, get out of my
Instagram.
feed. Yeah.
And I keep reporting, to TikTok, like this is happening, but I'm verified on Instagram now, so it's easier to tell who I am. But yes, and I also have a YouTube.
Yeah. I will ask Danielle for everything. I will put everything in the show notes, and if something is missing, then we can always edit later. But people listening, check out the show notes. Make sure you book your appointment very fast, because, well, you're only here for
there's
limited space. Yeah, limited spots. So
but there's also a lecture I'm doing.
Yeah, there's also a lecture you're doing. Yeah, which will be of course for more people, because
yes. So this is really, it's a healing event is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're going to show up. It's a healing event. And so there's different parts of the event. There's working with me, the event.
Yeah.
On one-on-one. But this is the first, I hope, of these healing events. And you guys you'll just get the best of me.
Yeah, I think it's very special. It's your first time out of your not out of your house, but as you told us, and then you're coming to the Netherlands, and it's going to be amazing. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, just make sure there's air conditioning everywhere I go.
Yeah, Danielle will take care of that. She's very good at
Listen, if I ride in a car, it's got to be cold. If I go to a restaurant, it's got to be cold. Thank you for everything. I really appreciate your time and coming in early. That was very nice of you.
Well, I'm glad you stayed up late, because I couldn't have done it. It's like midnight in the US now. Yeah, I would have been asleep for a few hours ago. So I'm very happy you took the time out of your very busy day to be here. I'll put everything for people listening in the show notes, and I hope to see you in August.
Yeah, I hope to see you on my table, Missy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we'll talk
Mhm.
about
I
that.
bet you're going to cut that out of the podcast, aren't you?
Well, this part not, but no, I don't do editing. But well, thank you for mentioning that, because now everyone will ask after August, did you go on her table? But we'll keep that secret. We'll keep that for
See?
follow-up.
Yeah, and just so everybody, let's just make this disclaimer that everything is confidential in my session. I'll never use names or anything. So, yeah.
That's very good.
I won't snitch on you.
Great. Thank you. Well, thank you so much. And well, I'll see you in August.
I'll see you in August.
En dat was hem. Tijd vloog hier voorbij. Ik hoop dat je ervan genoten hebt. Ik hoop dat je er al uit de podcast heel veel waarde hebt kunnen halen. En als je voelt, ik moet bij die lezing zijn of ik moet die behandeling doen, kijk dan zeker even in de show notes. Zorg dat je jouw plek reserveert of vraag nog extra informatie aan. Nu heb je een kans, anders moet je ervoor naar LA. Dus ik zou zeggen, als je je geroepen voelt, zeker doen. Dankjewel voor het luisteren en heel graag tot de volgende keer. Dit was weer een nieuwe aflevering van de Money Mind podcast. Vond je het interessant en wil je meer? Kijk dan vooral eens op moneymindacademy.nl. En mocht je het nog niet hebben gedaan, abonneer je op deze podcast en laat een review achter. Tot de volgende podcast.